Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. We thank Allah once again. Today our topic is going to be on marriage. I know we might be having different misconceptions about marriage and then how people define marriage in different ways. Today our topic is going to be on marriage, as I said earlier on, and we can't do the discussion without knowing what marriage is. That's the meaning of marriage. So to start with, we will first describe or define what marriage is. And we all know that marriage is a union between a man and a woman who has agreed to live together as husband and wife after they have gone through the necessary requirements. And then Islam also agrees that marriage should be an agreement between a man and a woman. So this our topic is going to be based on Islam mostly because we are Muslims. So marriage entails a lot in Islam and other things, but we have to be considerate when it comes to marriage and other things. To begin with, after defining marriage, we have 4 steps in Islam that every Muslimah or every Muslim guy should know before going into marriage. Before then, we would like to discuss something small that happens before the marriage. So as a young lady, let's say between the ages of 16 to maybe your 30s, Allah has made it in such a way that no matter what the situation or no matter how you look like, there will be a guy who will see you and you'll be like, he has never seen someone who is beautiful than you and would like to propose to you, and then if Allah wills, you marry. So to begin with, you start about how the man should approach and how you, the lady, you should accept. Okay, for instance, as we know, we ladies, we are always shy and other things. Sometimes you may love the guy, but you would like to hide it and other things. So when the guy comes, or maybe he'll meet you, especially those in the tertiary institutions, usually that's where most of us get the ones that they want to marry and other things. So the moment he approached you, say Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, that's to you. So you will reply to his salam and then maybe try to talk to you, my dear sister, like I like you and other things, I would like us to live together, and then maybe steady ourselves more. That steady, sometimes there is problem there. So if you want to steady yourself before getting married, or to know yourself better before getting married, we have to remember Islam and then know what Islam has said about it. So at that time, if you, the lady, you are convinced with what the guy has brought to you, that he wants to marry you and you are okay with him, the first thing that you have to do is first inform your parents. Sometimes we shouldn't wait till we are deep in love with the person before we go and tell our parents, and then in that situation, if our parents tend to be like, oh no, we don't like this guy because of their tribes and other things, that will bring a huge problem to us. So you first introduce the guy to your mother. Most of us feel shy doing to introduce a guy to our parents and other things, but that is the way it should be done. So you go to your parents, you talk to them. Mom, I've met this man on campus and he said he's willing to marry me. So you talk to her and she said, okay, Teba, take very good care of yourself. So after your parents have recommended that guy for you, or they have said, oh, it's okay to be with him, then you make sure there is nothing haram that is going to happen between you and the man. Maybe come and visit me and other things. That thing doesn't come in yet. Maybe if you are at a different hostel and he is also living in a different place, maybe you can meet on campus and then have some chats to get to know how you can live together without any conflicts or other things. So aside that, let's assume you've gone home, the both sides, you've all agreed on that, oh, I want to give my daughter to you, and the husband side, okay, we accept, we would like to stay with her and other things. At that moment, and maybe assuming you've completed school and then it's time for marriage for you, the lady, and the guy too. The guy is prepared and you're also prepared. So Islamically, what we need to consider first is the agreement. Your mother will call you and ask you, maybe Fatima, do you agree we should accept this man? He should be your husband. At that moment, you, the lady, will say yes. So they have to ask for agreement. In Islam, there is no forced marriage in Islam. We don't force ladies to marry as others are doing. So if they find out that there is an agreement between you that you want to stay together. Okay, the next thing to talk about after the agreement between the man and the woman is the parents agreeing to give their daughter out to the man or to the family of the man. So and then after them giving out their daughter to you, the man, then we move on to the dowry. That's the sadaki. The man will get his sadaki and then bring it to the woman. The sadaki doesn't necessarily mean money. anything that is valuable in a society can be given as sadaki to the woman or the woman's family. Then we move on to the witnesses. We can't get married without having our witnesses with us. We can't just get married. Maybe it happens, the marriage would be like, it's not like the marriage will be invalid or other things, but always it has to be witnesses around where the marriage ceremony is going to be done. So assuming we are having the marriage in our mosque, we have to invite 1 or 2 families around us and our neighbors to come and witness that there is a marriage between, which is a union between you and then that guy or the man that you want to marry. So you move in with the person after the marriage and then stay with the person to have a successful life or family with the person. So after the marriage, I first talked about the parents don't agree on, maybe the man is from this tribe or is from that tribe, so I'm not going to accept him. Islamically, it's haram. What we need to consider is the deen of the person. If the person is a Muslim and I'm also a Muslimah, nothing, and then he has the deen, nothing will stop us from getting married. There is marriage between us, not talk about, oh, because he's from this tribe, we this tribe, we don't marry this tribe. Please, it's haram. So let's take note of that and then be mindful of how to do with that. And then always let us be considering Islam. So after these 4 steps in marriage, or 4 things that we have to consider before getting married, after we have discussed this thing, and then after which everything that will be added to it is something like extra. It's not part of what we are supposed to do, but we can do it to enhance the marriage, to make it more beautiful, because of course marriage is a happy ceremony, and then the husband and the wife too has to be happy, and then the family, because it brings joy to the family. We can add other things to make it more beautiful, but when adding the things, we have to be mindful of what we are adding, and then consider ourselves as Muslims whenever we want to do something. So we shouldn't do anything that will be haram, and then one way or the other might bring curse to the couples on their marriage day. I think we all Muslims or Muslims, we have to have knowledge about marriage, especially with the youth. When we are being sent to Makaranta, we should at least take it as a very good thing and then be attending. Because I can't remember, I know of one lady who was like, oh me, I want to marry, and then one malama asked her, why do you want to marry? She said, oh, because of my marriage day, I'm going to put on new dresses, I'm going to look nice, people will be following me and other things. But that is not marriage, because she doesn't know what marriage is. So at that time, assuming the malama didn't ask her, because the lady was going to tell her parent that, oh mom, I want to marry because I think I'm of age and other things. And then in her mind, what she's having in her mind is marriage is just one day thing, that I'll dress in a different way that no one will dress like me, and then people will be following me and other things. But that is not marriage. So the malama asked her, what does this mean when someone says he's going to marry? So she explained it in a different way, that she wants to look extraordinary and other things. So the malama talked to her about marriage and other things. So from then she realized it's very good for her to be attending Makaranta, because she would have made a very big mistake after the day and she has been sent to her husband's house and she goes there to go and see something different. It will be a problem. So our dear sisters out there, this advice, it goes to both the men and then the women, but mostly the ladies. When the guys come to us that they want to marry us, we have to, where the problem now is the dowry, that's the sadaki. When they come, sometimes the family, they have their price there. It's a fixed price. Yeah, you can't bargain for. So when you come, they'll be like, oh, for our daughters, maybe you are welcome to our family, and if you want to marry a daughter from our family, maybe we take 10,000. And then maybe the man too can't afford. Okay, so our dear sisters, and then in that way, if the parents, because the lady knows me, my family, they accept 10,000, and then maybe the guy that she is with doesn't have that money, and they love themselves, it can lead to something which is very, very, very haram, and then other things too might happen which will affect us Muslims and then our society. So parents, please, let's reduce the price of the dowries for our brothers when they come to seek for our hands in marriage, and then our sisters too. I'll end here by saying to my sisters that we have to be very mindful for the guys that will come to us that they want to marry us, because most of them are deceivers, and then our parents too should be considerate. They should consider our guys, or saying the Muslim guys, when they come to seek for our hands in marriage. And also our parents should, especially the problem is from our mothers. Our fathers do not have problem with that. So our mothers, please, we plead with you that when the guys come, please reduce the price of the dowries for them. And I will also I'll end here by saying assalaammcommunications9220 wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh to all Muslims, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.